across. They've elected to defend the city end here in the first half. That means they'll play from left to right. It also means there'll be a strong sun shining into the eyes of Billy Nolan as away we go. First possession of the game is for Adam English, the dynamic Limerick midfielder who runs straight into a swarm of Waterford defenders. And the first ruck of the day sees a Waterford man, and that is Jack Prendergast, emerge with the Schlitter, but only briefly. Work to Tig de Burka, and here's the man of the moment, Stephen Bennett, wearing 11 today, testing out the Limerick full back line for the first time. Hardly any breeze here in Walsh Park. Man trying to lift it is Desi Hutchinson. He's under a lot of pressure though. Kyle Hayes making life awkward for him, backed up by O'Donoghue, and out comes Sean Finn, the man who won 4 All-Stars in a row, to another multi-time All-Star, Diarmuid Byrnes, from inside his own 65. What a score! Inside the first 60 seconds, Diarmuid Byrnes from long range opens the scoring.
Yeah, and a couple of changes. Just look, Patrick Curran has gone into the middle. For a minute there, Sean Finn was picking up Desi. That's after settling down. He's gone back in on Dan Morrissey. Kevin Matney's gone out on the wing so far.
Looks like Barry Nash has gone with Stephen Bennett as Nash claims that puck out, gets onto his left-hand side and tries to feed Shane O'Brien, the moving target in that full forward line. O'Brien over his shoulder, and the Kilmallock man is up and running. After 90 seconds, Limerick double their lead.
1-4 the last day, and here he is into the corner, onto the right side. Usually it's on his left-hand side, but right or left with this guy.
Well, he beat Conor Prunty in the foot race, and Limerick lead by 2. Another puck out right down on top of Barry Nash, who beats Bennett to it. Drives out. Cullum Lyons playing advantage, and Kyle Hayes delivers a diagonal ball over towards Aaron Gillane. Limerick, well, they've hit the ground running here against a Waterford team who are out 6 days after beating the All-Ireland champions. How much of a toll will that take? Tig de Burka fouled, free to Waterford, and it just gives them a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, and it's actually Ian Kenny is after picking up Shane the Bull O'Brien in the corner. Gillane is actually in, sitting on the square, so Prunty's after picking him up. They'll go for probably a physical battle there. They're the switches so far. Everyone else for Limerick seems to be playing as selected.
So a free to Waterford, and Billy Nolan switches the play to Mark Fitzgerald, the wing back from Passage, drills it in. Again, it'll test that full back line, runs through to Nicky Quaid, back in action just 5 months after rupturing his cruciate. Has defied medical science to get back on the field again. Good pressure by Waterford though. They'll have the sideline cut right down in front of us, and Darragh Lyons is the man standing over it. Limerick, the only team that Waterford haven't beaten in the Munster round robin over the years. Lyons is cut straight to the hand of Kyle Hayes. Time to take a touch and then feed it low towards Shane O'Brien, who gets the run on the corner back. Irla Daly has time to shoot and drills it wide. Really good chance for Limerick to stretch the lead.
A great chance, and that's the thing with Limerick, you see, they bring out their players and they flood the middle, and it leaves loads of space inside. If you don't pick them up, they'll score from out the field. Otherwise, there's great ball into Gillane.
Short puck out, and then the long delivery taken down by Patrick Fitzgerald. Great strong hand, and Fitzgerald picked at corner forward, shows just why. Great score from the Ballygunner corner forward. Puck out already gone. Waterford up and running. Stephen Bennett gets on the ball. Shot blocked by O'Donoghue. Ricochets across to Diarmuid Byrnes. Again, he has time to take a touch and pick out the totally unmarked Cian Lynch. Lynch in full flight fires it high and over the bar. Well, somebody switched off. Lynch left free, and Limerick 2 up again. It has been a breathless first 4.5 minutes. Another short puck out from Billy Nolan. Takes the return and then delivers it over to the far side towards Patrick Curran. Byrnes comes, takes it in his stride and powers forward again. looking for the run of Shane O'Brien. He's there in front of Prunty, tries to slip it through a gap to Hegarty. Gillane arriving on the scene as well. Well, it's helter-skelter for the Waterford defence. And they needed somebody to take control, and that somebody is Mark Fitzgerald. Advantage being played as Barron pops it through to Kevin Mahoney. Mahoney shoots on sight, and Mahoney misses. Well, chances gone a-begging at both ends here. Puck-outs coming thick and fast. That's over the head of Cian Lynch, won by Mark Fitzgerald. In towards Hutchinson, runs through to Stephen Bennett. Hutchinson continues the run. Bennett falling over, gets the shot off. Freed already been given. Cullum Lyons had blown the whistle. Bennett has earned that free, and Waterford have a chance now to get their second score.
Yeah, Mike, and all the big players are after stepping up early. You have the Bull inside, you have Cian Lynch playing well for Limerick, Kyle Hayes at centre-back. They play a kind of a zonal defence back there. That's the joy of having him back centre-back, Mike. You know, Will O'Donoghue is more suited to being out in the engine room midfield. They play a kind of a zonal defence where they play right across the half-back line. It's hard to penetrate them, but even though Bennett did that time, Bennett's after starting well for Waterford as well.
So Stephen Bennett on his 101st appearance for Waterford gets his first of the day. Nicky Quaid going down the left-hand side. What a catch from Cian Lynch. Timed his leap to perfection. Now English runs down a blind alley. 3 Waterford men waiting for him. And out with the ball comes Ty de Burka. Slips it off to Jamie Barron. He's the man that makes Waterford tick. Up towards Hutchinson, the spearhead of the attack. Gets there in front of Sean Finn. Hutchinson off his left. Another wide for Waterford, their second. But Hutchinson's pace off the mark there had Sean Finn playing catch-up. Another very quick puck out from Quaid. Hegarty. Limerick trying to force the pace. Here's Barry Nash. And that's a lovely score. He just had time to pull the trigger, Barry Nash. And Limerick restored the cushion.
And that's the thing with Nash, like, he turns defence into attack in a flash. Like, he's an absolute weapon on the wing.
That's now 4 different Limerick scorers. As Billy Nolan goes looking for Stephen Bennett. Garrod Hegarty had dropped back into that pocket. Kyle Hayes was there to read the break, hurdles the challenge. Limerick fans feel they should have had a free. Instead, they play away. Reading, little tug on the jersey. Advantage being played. Lynch, oh, what a ball to Adam English. Poetry in motion. Limerick from defence to attack, and a score at the end of it.
Lynch is almost superhuman, Mike. Like the first half, he went in, ghosted into the side. Next minute, he caught a ball right underneath us, and now that great assist for the point.
Cian Lynch, 2-time hurler of the year, back to his best as Kyle Hayes wins that ball in the air. Won his 5th All-Star last year. This decorated Limerick team still hungry for more. Here's Adam English. And up goes the white flag. Well, they're attacking Waterford from all angles. They knew Waterford would come with a spring in their step after beating Clare, but Limerick have gone 4 up after 9 minutes.
Yeah, and they're weaving a web of passes out around the middle third here, and then strike, bang over the bar.
Another aerial battle won by Limerick, and Dan Morrissey restored to full back today to Garrod Hegarty. Again, the marking is really loose, and Hegarty from halfway has driven it away to the right and wide. But when Limerick come out of defence quickly, Tommy, there's so much space at times.
There is, because you have to mark Hegarty, you have to mark Lynch out and English out the middle of the field, or to put the ball over the bar, so you have to follow him, which creates space then inside for Shane and Gillane and David Reedy.
Ball won on the far side by Kevin Mahoney. Again, though, the Waterford forwards are second to the ball that's been delivered, and Hegarty, who's sitting in around the half-back line, will spray it up to Shane O'Brien in just his 2nd championship season. Tom Morrissey looking for O'Brien again, but it all just got a little too tight for Limerick. De Burka pops it out through the side door. A little web of passes, and now Kevin Mahoney goes long into the corner, looking for the run of Patrick Fitzgerald. He's switched wings just to give himself some time and space. That will hold up, or will it just over the end line? Well, you could see what they were trying to do. Third wide from Waterford as Peter Queally just tries to get a message in. Started so quickly here against Clare. We're 10-3 up at the end of the first quarter. It's been a different story so far. That's Tom Morrissey out of the sky and over the bar. That now means 3 of Limerick's starting forward line have scored.
And like, Tom Morrissey's a big man, Mike, but he doesn't need a second invitation to strike. He'll do that all day long.
Really good fetch by Bennett. Read Billy Nolan's intentions. Looked there like Desi Hutchinson may have been caught late just in front of the linesman. Ball played into the centre. Kevin Mahoney is gone down, and now Waterford will have a free, and it is a yellow card for Diarmuid Burns.
Yeah, and Mike, you often see this, a team with a point to prove will start like a train. Waterford just need to settle down here now. They'll hopefully score a point from a Waterford point of view here now, bring it back to 4 points. There's only 10 minutes gone. They're very good forwards. They can score in a short space of time themselves. So, and that's a yellow card for Diarmuid. He'll have to be kind of careful for the rest of the game now. But once it settles down, this Waterford team, they'll anchor out the defence. Tyke de Burke will start organising it from the centre, and off they'll go.
So Stephen Bennett gets that scoreboard moving again for Waterford. Hit 2-8 here against Clare. Determined, as he said after that game, that Waterford would be hurling into June at the very least this summer. Yet to get out of the Munster round-robin shark tank. But they've given themselves a really good chance with that first round win. Right now, though, they're on the back foot. It's Tom Morrissey again. And he's missed again, just struggling to get the radar locked on. That's 2 wides for the wing forward from Ahan. As Billy Nolan tries to mix up the puckouts, finds Mark Fitzgerald. Caught by the Limerick forward there, and he will get the free. Well, David Reedy it was who moved across there to try and stop him in his tracks. In fact, Burns it was who caught him initially, Tommy, and Diarmuid Burns is on a yellow, and that was another high, heavy challenge.
Yeah, and it's just the speed of the game. It's them type of challenges are difficult because you have to get in hard, but you have to get in fair, and then one mistake then, and you know, you get a second yellow. So John Kiely probably is, you know, and he's after starting absolutely brilliantly, Diarmuid Burns, but you just have to be careful.
Well, you would imagine Diarmuid Burns is one more big challenge away from another card, and as we saw over the last few weeks, going down to 14 men in this year's championship can cause major issues. As Stephen Bennett goes back into his own half, slight breeze behind him. Bennett hits it with everything he has, and Stephen Bennett drills it up and over the bar. Well, his frees are keeping Waterford in touch here as they try to ride out this early storm, and that's a big score in every sense. Now another chance for Jack Prendergast. Now Waterford are up and running. 2 scores in about 20 seconds as they cut the gap to 2.
Sometimes that's all you need. It was Kevin Mahoney won the first free, and then they tacked on a couple more. Now there's only 2 points in it.
It's been a frantic first 14 minutes. Quaid goes right down the middle this time. Cian Lynch sucks in 4 or 5 defenders, managed to get the pass away, but there's been a foul. Colm Lyons wants a word, and it's Mark Fitzgerald who's caught his eye, and Mark Fitzgerald will be booked for that chop across the Limerick forward.
And Mike, can I just make one comment in regards all the talk all week about the digging and the diving? There's two lads after getting belts here early. They held their arm and got on with it. And that's what the hurling people love. The boys got on with it. They felt the belts, but they got on with it. And that's honesty, that's genuine, and that's what we want.
Well, here we can see again, Mark Fitzgerald caught David Reedy. That's why he got the yellow. And I think for some dissent, ball brought forward and a chance for Aaron Gillane to open his account. And Limerick's top scorer is now off the mark. Hit 7 against Tip. Has had a relatively quiet first 15 minutes here. Limerick by 3. Billy Nolan looking for the hand of Stephen Bennett. Patrick Fitzgerald, lovely flick to knock it into the path of a teammate there. That was Kevin Mahoney, who was up on his shoulder.
And just on Gillane being quiet, you see, he's playing inside the 14 now, Mike. Shane O'Brien a bit in front of him, and David Reedy out past the 40. So all the early ball is going into the other two forwards.
So Jamie Barron has gone across to take this. Plays a slick little 1-2 with Darragh Lyons. Back to Barron. Angle was very tight, though. Turns out to be too tight. 4 wides for Waterford, who have started to hurl a lot better now in the last 5 minutes or so. Short puck out to Kyle Hayes. Then takes the direct route down towards... Well, that looked like a foul on Aaron Gillane. And it was. And Colm Lyons has penalised Irla Daly.
And do you see that, Mike? The benefit of Gillane actually slipped out. He was the guy out around the D, and Shane O'Brien was gone inside, and that's why he was out in front for that first ball. But you let Gillane out in front of you, you're in trouble. He's such a big man.
Limerick, of course, chasing a magnificent 7 in a row of Munster titles this summer. A second of the day for Aaron Gillane. And the corner forward from Patrick's Well just gives Limerick a little bit more room to manoeuvre. Another long puck out, flicked on by Stephen Bennett. Hutchinson races out from full forward. Felt he got a nudge there. Colm Lyons not interested. O'Donoghue restored to the middle of the field. Gives it to his partner Adam English. Lovely ball, floats it in towards O'Brien, who again is a long way from full forward, but makes it stick. Morrissey pops it through to Cian Lynch, and Lynch from a standing start drills it high and over the bar. Well, they can mix it up, Limerick, when the need arises. It was a lovely ball from Tom Morrissey, and Cian Lynch took care of the rest. He's up to 3 points now, the Limerick centre forward, and he looks a lot happier, Tommy, a lot more comfortable back on the 40.
Ah, yeah, wonderful player. And you can really see the benefit of Connacht's game-based model. That's the way he trains his team, all little mini games as opposed to drills. And they're passing it around as if they're in a box below in training. The next minute to get to the right lad, probably in about 10-15 yards of space and over the bar. But Lynch, like, you couldn't mark him out there in that kind of form.
Well, Limerick are sending in a sub here. Colin Coughlin for Diarmuid Burns, and I wouldn't say, Tommy, you're overly surprised. He was on the yellow. He'd made that second hit as well. He was walking a very fine line. Yeah, well, I'm kind of devastated for him because he was playing so well and kind of taken off for the fear of being sent off, like, for doing very little. So Colin Coughlin, who started against Tip, slots into the Limerick defence as Desi Hutchinson gets this under control and sweeps it beautifully up and over. Well, Hutchinson in full flight is a joy to watch. He was, and Sean Finn was man marking him, but he let him over his side and took up one of the other players and a point straight away. So Desi will be delighted with that one. Aaron Gillane on the same page as Nicky Quaid. Drops out of the sun, and Billy Nolan keeps his eye on it all the way and gets it away to Paddy Levy. Darragh Lyons hasn't really been in the game a whole lot in the first quarter. Loose ball on the floor. Colm Lyons goes for the free. It will be to Waterford.
And Darragh Lyons was fantastic the last day against Clare. Himself and Jamie Barron, they're like busy bees around the place, and in fairness to Jamie, he's after continuing that rich form, and that'll be important for Waterford, for them two players to be up around, you know, an 8 or a 9 out of 10.
Another big hit leads to a free, and Stephen Bennett has gone back to take it. Bennett, will he have the distance? Not quite, just dropped short, gathered by Quaid. Smuggled out to Kyle Hayes, and he will move his way up through the gears and then give it over to Tom Morrissey. Looking to slice that in over the top for Shane O'Brien. Prunty may have lost it in the sun. O'Brien has it. He goes low. Well, it comes back off the post and back into play with Billy Nolan beaten. Shane O'Brien denied by the width of the post. It was an absolute bullet, chasing what would have been his second championship goal. Did almost everything right. But the pass from Tom Morrissey opens up that Waterford defence, and they have now been warned. Paddy Levy hits it into no man's land. Jack Prendergast wondering why it didn't come his way, as Nicky Quaid comes out and in his own time returns it with interest deep into the Waterford half again. Superb catch by David Reedy. Advantage being played here on the loop. It's Shane O'Brien again, and Limerick missed the chance, but Colm Lyons is going to bring it back for the free, as we take, Tommy, another look at that rasper from Shane O'Brien.
I thought it was in the net, Mike. No, I thought it might have hit the backstanch. If you're in a club game now, you'd be kind of questioning it if you're on the other team, but he's dangerous inside in the full forward, either him or Gillane. Like, that's the joy of having the two of them in there together. But you'd have to say they're so dangerous up there.
So Aaron Gillane then with this chance to push Limerick 5 up. So another for Gillane, another for Limerick, and as they have done since the opening moments of this game, John Kiley's team in pole position. Short puck out by Waterford. They live a little dangerously, but now Mark Fitzgerald, such a athletic, dynamic wing-back, drives forward. That would have been one to get the crowd out of their seats had it flown over. 5 wides for Waterford. William O'Donoghue, the outlet for the puck out. English, very stylish hurler, gets it across, and Mike Casey completes the clean-up job. Again, they go long. It's Tom Morrissey, and Morrissey, after a few misses, is back on track. Well, he's having some first half, Tom Morrissey, moving around that attack, setting up scores, and he's just hit his second.
He's built for the big stage, Tom, but 2 seconds ago he was down on our side, kind of after half giving up on Mark Fitzgerald. He must have just sprinted it to the far side, picked up that loose ball and over the bar.
Double scores now at Walsh Park as Limerick flex their muscles and begin to impose themselves again. Lyons cuts this in only as far as the waiting Colin Coughlin. Here's Coughlin again. Man making a run ahead of him is Barry Nash. Just gets the jump there on Irla Daly, and Barry Nash draws it in, and it's just faded away at the last moment. Well, it looked initially from here like it was on target, but then at the last moment drifts wide. Would have been some score.
It would have been. Well, Kinnerk, he's not just a coach, he's a professor. Like, these guys are moving around like a 5-side soccer.
Puck out's broken down, and Waterford needed Tadhg de Burka, who else, to nip in and just salvage that situation. They've got a free. But it just shows now, you mentioned Kinnerk, Limerick are reading Billy Nolan's puck outs. They're alive to the short ones, and they very nearly got in there for the turnover.
They did, and they do base a lot of their energy and their commitment around that work rate of taking the ball back off the opposition up there with their own forwards.
Billy Nolan looking for his second score of the Munster Championship. Chalk it down. What a score from Billy Nolan, man who played as a sweeper a couple of years ago. He can hurl with the best of them. Limerick's puck out already gone. Nicky Quaid had a sliotar ready to go. Waterford didn't quite get the lift they were looking for from that score. Limerick already on the attack, but good play back there. Good work by Darragh Lyons, and it just gets Waterford moving in the right direction. So Peter Queally is now making a change. He feels it's time to spring Mikey Kiley. There was some speculation beforehand that he may even start. Patrick Curran is the player who's been taken out. Limerick winning too many aerial battles, dominating in the air, Tommy, and Peter Queally has sent in the right man, the big man, Mikey Kiley.
Yeah, when he changed the dynamic of the game last week, straight away when he came in, like, he puts chaos into the mix. He actually thrives in it. And let's see what kind of an effect, because Kyle Hayes is absolutely going to town from centre back, but he's left free most of the time. Here's Billy again.
Hayes operating now as a +1. Nolan right down on top of Barry Nash, that half back line where Hayes, Nash and now Coughlin are operating. They have been imperious so far. Scrap for possession. They all pile in. Colm Lyons lets them at it, and now Cian Lynch pops up, ball in hand. So good in the tight spaces. Back to Coughlin, just has room to shorten the grip and let fly. Just wide. That's 5 now, and they really could and should be further ahead, especially when you consider Shane O'Brien's goal chance in with those misses.
And I just think, Mike, if you're leaving Limerick with +1 or even +2, +3 at times here, you have to go short out around the middle. If you're going long, you have to go up with your numbers. Bring all your 6 forwards up. This is what Tipperary, where they found success against them 2 weeks ago.
Desi Hutchinson, short to Barron, has really struggled to get into this game. Barron, though, with a beautiful strike. That is quality from Jamie Barron. Well, he needed that, and Waterford needed that, and Barron delivers. Cuts the gap to 4. Puck out, gone. Limerick are now up at the other end. Shane O'Brien looking to get turned. O'Brien, well, they call him the Bull, and he right now is running riot. He has got the run on that Limerick, or that Waterford full back line. And they are finding it very, very difficult, Tommy, to get to grips with him. He's such a big man, and he's so quick off the mark.
Yeah, Shane O'Brien, he's so young. If I could give it into him high or low.
Mikey Kiley trying to dig this one out. He does really well. He was fouled. Advantage. Kevin Mahoney backs himself and gets the score. 60 yards, give or take, and Kevin Mahoney from Ballygunner hits the target.
There's Mikey, he's only after on, he's making an impact straight away. But you have to hand it to Waterford. They're rolling with the punches and they're hanging in this game, Mike.
They certainly are. They've been on the back foot for long spells. That's a really good hit by Barry Nash on Jamie Barron, and Adam English doubles up. Asking an awful lot, though, of David Reedy with the pass, and Bennett read it. Back to Mahoney. Sensed Coughlin was coming, took the touch, shortens the grip, and just leaves it short. But Waterford will have the free for the foul. So Stephen Bennett will get the chance to cut the gap to 3. Well, the home crowd now sensing that finally Waterford are getting into some sort of a rhythm, getting some sort of momentum.
Yeah, it's turned into a cauldron here. They're very loud now. The noise is deafening. But you have to hand it to Waterford. Punch after punch after taking in this first half. I know the post saved them at times, but they're hanging in there. Mikey Kiley's on now after winning a couple of balls. Bennett is scoring all the frees. This should lead to only 3 points in it. It's only 5 minutes before half time.
Stephen Bennett has missed.
Commentator's curse.
Well, I think most of us had that one jotted down. He's been so good on the frees, not just this evening, but recently. Not to be, though, and Limerick are already carrying on regardless. It's O'Donoghue back to Sean Finn. Again, he has time to look up and scan. Perhaps he had too much time, though, because Conor Prunty gets there in front of Aaron Gillane. De Burka turns into the tackle, but has the power to break through and keep going. And De Burka, well, he went down, and Waterford are absolutely furious there. Dan, the man, Shanahan, and Peter Queally felt that he was fouled on his way out. Let's take another look. It was O'Donoghue that caught him. Fulham Lions initially signalled that he didn't see anything overly wrong with the tackle. Now, Waterford have got the free all right, eventually. But it's just a word in the ear, I think, for Will O'Donoghue. Waterford felt there should have been a card. John Kiley there suggesting that De Burka went down too easy. That is not the way Waterford saw it. Bennett again forces it, and it's another Y, 2 in quick succession.
And here's Nicky Quaid again, like short buck outs, slow buck outs, long buck outs. He's mastering them all. Like only the greats come back Easter Sunday. This could be the greatest comeback of them all. He's hurling absolutely, and he's probably the single most important man out there for Limerick today, Nicky Quaid. His puck outs are mesmerising.
All-star goalkeeper last year sets this move in motion. It's Adam English. He just lost control at the vital moments, and that allowed Billy Nolan to come out and gather. Ball work to Mark Fitzgerald. This time he tries a low delivery. Mikey Kiley joined at the hip by Sean Finn. Finn went down. Now Kiley's on his knees. Fulham Lions says play away, and Barron bounces off the tackle. Now he's fouled. Well, the Limerick supporters are up, and they are not happy. You really wouldn't swap right now with Fulham Lions, would you?
No, and as Silver Farrell used to say, game on now, Ger. Like, this is brilliant. Like, it's the noise around is deafening. The free is brought in now by Fulham Lions. There must have been a few words from some of the Limerick defenders. But I agree with you. This could be a tough game to referee now, but he's doing brilliantly. Like, even that last one, he kind of took a moment and then gave the free for Waterford when he must have spoke to a linesman or that. But this should lead to 3 points in it right before half-time. Can you believe Waterford are still in it, Mike?
Well, at times it looks like Limerick are about to cut loose, but Stephen Bennett's score leaves us with a 3-point game. The atmosphere is absolutely electric. Just over 12,000 people packed in on the Maybank holiday weekend, and they have been treated to a real throwback Munster Championship match. Gillane takes it off the floor. Lynch, the decoy run made by English. What a beautiful ball to Tom Morrissey. It threw half the Waterford defence off the scent, and Morrissey pops over point number 3.
Yeah, and it threw us as well. What a flick! The wizard, he's at it again, Mike.
Hands like Harry Potter, somebody said a few years ago about Cian Lynch, as that shot comes back off the post, and Finn back to clean it up and to deal with it and get it away. Well, if you blink, you miss it. Billy Nolan and Nicky Quaid delivering the puck outs as quickly as they possibly can, and very little time to catch the breath as Gillane strides forward, sets himself, and Aaron Gillane with a flawless finish. He's up to 4 points now, and that gives us a chance to take another look at that shot that came back of the post, Tommy, and could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, and this is all great cornerbacks do. Like last week, that ended up, Stephen Bennett was there again, was in the back of the net.
Barry Nash, he has hurled some amount of ball in this first half, as has this man, Tom Morrissey. That's an ironic, sarcastic, call it what you like, round of applause from the Limerick supporters, who seem to feel they've been shortchanged, Tommy, in the first half.
Yeah, and you know, listen, once you put in the second hand at all there, you could be in trouble. Another short free.
O'Donoghue to Shane O'Brien, looking to sell Conor Prunty something he was not interested in buying, and Prunty delivers it inside, but back there, standing in the gap for Limerick, is Kyle Hayes. Needed help, arrived very quickly, and now Garrod Hegarty has it. The former hurler of the year dishes it out towards O'Brien. Again, ball may have been lost in the sun by, was it Conor Prunty? Well, the 1 minute of added time has almost elapsed. Peter Queally and John Kiley, I think at this stage, will be happy to get their teams in and just reset after what has been a relentless first half. There goes the half-time whistle. Waterford supporter Shane Bennett, who came on as well last Sunday against Clare. He's a brother of Stephen, and he will take his place in the Waterford attack as Cullum Lyons gets the second half underway here at Walsh Park. A massive 35 minutes ahead in the context of the Munster Championship. Can Waterford get back-to-back wins? Well, they have started this second half like they mean business. Mark Fitzgerald with an inspirational score right from the throw-in.
A great start, Mike, and just looking at the Limerick attack, they line up like a pencil for these puck outs at the start of the second half.
They haven't put back-to-back wins together in the province since 2020, Waterford. And despite being out-hurled for long spells in the first half, they find themselves just 4 points behind. But it's in the next 35 minutes, Tommy, we're going to find out about the 6-day turnaround, how much it's taken out of them, and can they drive on for what would be another statement win.
Absolutely, and they've shown incredible heart and resilience in this first 35, say even 40 minutes nearly at this stage. But I'm just looking at Bennett has gone inside, and Sean Finn, Desi's inside as well. They're kind of operating a two-man full forward line with Shane Bennett gone in as well. A couple of changes with Mikey Kiley's gone out and Kyle Hayes. Jamie Barron is floating around, still out there kind of.
Normal service resumed by Aaron Gillane. 5 points now on his 44th championship appearance, and that cancels out the score at the other end as Waterford come forward. Shane Bennett looking to get involved right from the get-go. Lovely pass by Adam English, and it just changes the whole momentum. Gillane pops it ahead to David Reedy. Good solid challenge though by Irla Daly. He's been under the pump for a lot of this game so far, but Daly this time keeps it simple. Stephen Bennett to Jamie Barron. These are the players Waterford need to get on the ball, the men that make it happen. Ball flicked inside. Chance perhaps for Mikey Kiley. Tight angle, but Kiley makes light of it. Really good score.
Yeah, instead of hitting the ball in deep where there's extra Limerick defenders, they kept it out to the wing, out around the 40, where it's kind of one-on-one. Bennett wins the ball and gives it straight to Jamie Barron and over the bar.
Well, they're on their best run, Waterford, for some 10 years. 7 games in a row they've won coming into tonight's match. Yellow for Stephen Bennett, though. Conor Lyons felt his last challenge was over the top. So now Bennett will have to be on his best behaviour. He's moved into the full forward line, as Tommy said, and Sean Finn picking him up. Puck out from Quaid, batted back into the path of Jamie Barron. Haven't seen him at his best yet. He's looking for Bennett. Stephen touches it down. Shane looking to get it under control. The Bennett brothers in. looking to make a nuisance of themselves. It's Kiley, he's been fouled, free in. Well, Waterford there just refused to give up on it. The Bennett brothers and Mikey Kiley, between the three of them, have won a free.
Yeah, there was a bit of a half chance, but Mikey Kiley is causing all sorts of trouble for the Limerick defence. This big strong man wants the ball. Tried to take a quick free, but it's interesting that they're continuing Limerick with the formation of the 6 forwards right along the centre for these puck outs. But the last thing the Waterford defenders read it like a book. Paddy Levy stepped to this side, left Lynch over free at the far side, and then Nicky was hesitant, and Mark Fitzgerald came on and won the puck out. Tactical battle. Here's a short one.
Stephen Bennett thinks it's on. Shane Bennett was on the same wavelength, but the shot blocked. They could have taken the point, kept the scoreboard ticking. The Bennetts thought otherwise, and Limerick, well, they dealt with the first wave, but now they've given away a free, and Waterford have really torn into this second half. But here's another look at what Shane and Stephen Bennett were trying to pull off, and it was a very brave block by Mike Casey.
It wasn't. That's Mike all over. That's what made him the defender. But in fairness to the Waterford guys, they're going for it, and the Bennett brothers, there's no better guys.
So the push and the free, and Stephen Bennett does what he does best. 5 points now for the centre forward from Ballysaggart, and the Waterford comeback continues. They've trailed since the first minute of this Munster Championship match, but they're still very much in the contest. Line ball to Waterford. Paddy Levy it was, putting the pressure on Garrod Hegarty. So much talk about Waterford's record in the Munster round robin. That win over Clare, just their 4th in 21 matches in this championship, but it's given them huge belief. Stephen Bennett just couldn't quite pull off that trick. Not happy with Mike Casey's presence either. Well, what a start this has been to the bank holiday weekend for the 12,000 packed in. Getting their money's worth so far. Tom Morrissey does well. Adam English is away. Morrissey spotted him. Open road in front of him. Little look over the shoulder, but he can't find the finish. Well, again, there was plenty of room for Limerick to manoeuvre in, but little or no breeze, and Adam English uncharacteristically has shot his team 6th wide. Man trying to move onto that ball was Jack Prendergast. Mike Casey drew a boot on it. Will O'Donoghue unable to lift it. Kevin Mahoney does though. Knocked off balance, and away comes Adam English, so quick across the ground. Chips it in, looking for the run of the Bull O'Brien off the edge of the square. Waterford though this time have numbers around them. They get the ball into the hands of Desi Hutchinson, who goes for broke. Racing in after it is Shane Bennett, and Shane Bennett somehow has managed to force a 65. Well, I'm not quite sure how he managed it, but the umpire was fairly sure, or very sure should that be, that that went out of Sean Finn.
Yeah, watch this. He tipped off his leg or something, but it's a lesson to all corner forwards. Here he is, dives for the ball. Yeah, looks like it flicked off Sean Finn's leg, in fairness. Maybe brought out with his hand.
So the decision goes Waterford's way, and Stephen Bennett from the 65. Like clockwork. Limerick were 5 up at half-time. Waterford have cut the gap to 2. They've shot 4 points in the first 8 minutes of this second half, and they are starting to reel the 6 in a row Munster champions back in. That's an important win by Adam English. Foul by Darragh Lyons. Limerick, they've beaten Waterford 8 times in a row in the Munster Championship. Favourites to win again tonight, Tommy. But they are now in a real battle.
They are, and whatever Peter Aquili said to the lads at half-time, I'd love to get a copy of it because it had some effect on them in this first 8 minutes.
So Aaron Gillane again steps up to the plate. Gillane drills it, and this one's on target. 6 points for Limerick's leading man, 5 from frees. He's up to 13 now in the Munster Championship. Billy Nolan from the local Rowan Moore club here in Waterford City. Down the left he goes. Desi Hutchinson thought he had that. Flick of the wrists, and Limerick back in possession. Tom Morrissey spotted the run there of David Reedy. Hegarty likewise with Gillane. Just took a second too long there. Shot blocked by De Burka. Gillane gets a second chance. Dummy hand pass initially, and the second one, too much pace on it for Gareth Hegarty. Well, runs and moves that were coming off for Limerick in the first half, just not happening in the first 10 minutes of the second.
Oh, and that was a lovely little play by Billy Nolan, in fairness, jumping over the ball. He's watching a bit of the Premier League, I'd say, the last season.
Gets the puck out away quickly, but Limerick apply the high press, and they win it back. Gillane manages to pop it back to Adam English, and the snapshot flies up and over the bar. Well, he didn't have much time, and he didn't have much space, but he found just enough of both to hit his third of the game. Waterford in control of possession, but they forced the short one, and Limerick make them pay. Looking for Mikey Kiley, touchdown to Barron. Hutchinson, Paddy Levy lets it run through to Kevin Mahoney. Lovely swivel of the hips, but he slices the shot away to the right. And before Nicky Quaid can take the puck out, Peter Quayley's making a change. Man coming in is Gavin Fives, member of the famous Fives family. Shane, Dara and Niall have also hurled for Waterford over the years. And Dara Lyons comes out. Just didn't happen for him this evening, Tommy, but a big man to take out after only 46 minutes.
Yeah, listen, it can't happen for you every day.
Aaron Gillane wins the puck out, and Aaron Gillane comes up with another crucial score for Limerick.
Look at this, high or low, Mike, over the shoulder, in the back of the net. This guy is the man for the big occasion.
Gillane now starting to get into the groove. Limerick 5 up again. Nobody holding back there, right in front of Cullum Lyons. Cian Lynch spots the ball emerge, and Lynch is gone. O'Brien, lovely play to win it in front of Prunty, and Shane O'Brien with another score. That's his third. They'll tell you in Limerick he's the next big thing.
Yeah. Every field seems to be the Bulls field this summer, Mike.
Well, Shane O'Brien is certainly making a name for himself in the first couple of games this summer. Made his debut in the Munster final win last year, and right now has made that number 14 shirt his own. But look just how quickly Limerick have taken control again, Tommy. Waterford back to within 2 and pushing hard, and then Limerick do what Limerick do.
Yeah, see, it's all about patience with those Limerick teams.
They've hit 4 in a row. Jamie Barron looking to hit back. All eyes on Cullum Lyons. Free out. Jamie Barron picked the ball off the floor.
In fairness to him, and he's some leader. Here it is. Yeah, he did, in fairness. He's everywhere, Jamie. He's trying his living heart out today.
Gareth Hegarty looking to service Aaron Gillane again. So quick to get out in front. Such a handful. Haig de Burka, man who suffered so much with injuries over the years. On the ball again, back to Billy Nolan. Came at Jamie Barron at high speed and he just couldn't get it under control. Now it's Limerick's turn to apply the pressure, but they've overstepped the mark again. Free to Waterford. Well, it is a very thin line at times. It was Nash initially, then in came Tom Morrissey and Cian Lynch, and the free goes against John Kiley's team as Kiley actually makes a change. Out goes Will O'Donoghue and in comes Cathal O'Neill, who, Tommy, you wouldn't have been surprised to see start this game, but he's on after 49 minutes.
Yeah, and I'd say they want to get game time in him because he'll be an important player for Limerick on.
This is going to drop over the bar from Billy Nolan. Well, what a weapon he is in the Waterford camp. He's just hit his second monster point here at Walsh Park. That was midway between the 21 and the 65, and it just might kickstart another Waterford revival. Kevin Mahoney hooked just as he was about to deliver that ball. Barry Nash, as always, the head is up and Shane O'Brien is on the move. His shadow, Irla Daly, is with him. Falls to Gillane. Referee playing the advantage. Gillane delays the pass. O'Neill just can't quite get there. Limerick will get the free. Well, there we see again David Reedy just timing that challenge to perfection. But as a ball winner, Tommy, as a target man, Shane O'Brien is doing everything that Limerick want of him.
He is, he's shown for the ball, he's saying hit it into me, high or low, I'll win it. And David Reedy, in fairness, like, he's been in good form the last couple of years, had to bide his time to get on the team. You know, like, you can always depend on him. He's always kind of under the radar, but like, check the scoreboard most days and he'd have 2 or 3 points on the board. But did a lot of good work today, David Reedy, and that was a brilliant hook.
Corey Fitzgerald from Kilrossenty is on for Waterford. Kevin Mahoney has done all he can, as Aaron Gillane tops up his personal tally and stretches Limerick's lead out to 6 again. They're sitting more comfortably now on that cushion. They've hit 5 of the last 6 points in the game. Jamie Barron took up the perfect position for the puck out. Jack Prendergast tackled very quickly by Hegarty, who just shut him down in every sense. Cullum Lyons waves play on, ball given away. Paddy Levy shovels it out towards Stephen Bennett. Waterford looking to Bennett again to get them back into this game. Levy hits it into space, but that space filled by Kyle Hayes. Waterford's forwards just struggling there to get to the delivery, and that calls their defence back into action. Mark Fitzgerald made headlines in the Fitzgibbon Cup earlier this year. Out in front was Sean Finn. Hayes, and now Colin Coughlin. Coughlin, nothing obvious on short, so Coughlin goes long, and Colin Coughlin has hit a marvellous score. Well, what a way to get your first score of the night. Quick look, nothing on, so he goes and does that. Super score. Waterford goes 7 down as Barry Nash pops up again in the right place at the right time. So too, though, does Mark Fitzgerald. And Mark Fitzgerald drives it in and hits his second score. What a game he's having, the wing-back from Passage.
He's a rising star, and the Waterford people adore him. Everybody loves good young players coming to give you a bit of hope, and this guy is certainly one of those. Won a Fitzgibbon Cup earlier on as well.
So Limerick continue to keep Waterford at arm's length and continue to find their targets with the puckouts. Tom Morrissey again from Ahan. This time, Prunty's out in front. Just delayed the pass though a little. Luckily for Waterford, man who was alive to it was Gavin Fives, and now Billy Nolan. Man who's keeping Sean O'Brien out of the team at the moment. Hits this right down that central channel where Kyle Hayes is sitting in front of Mikey Kiley, backed up by Finn, and out to the point scorer Colin Coughlin. That Limerick defence working as a unit to curb the threats inside. Stephen Bennett drops deep to Barron, to Desi Hutchinson. Here's Pádraig Fitzgerald, first chance for him to run at the Limerick backs. Shot blocked by Coughlin. The Green Giants of Limerick now are starting to really hurl. It's Garrod Hegarty, the biggest of them all, and Hegarty gives the crowd what they want. The team that won 4 in a row of All-Irelands, Limerick, so badly want another one. And Garrod Hegarty gets the crowd out of their seats and pushes Limerick 7 points clear.
They absolutely love him, the Limerick supporters. He's such great hands for a big man.
Well, believe it or not, it's his first point of the match, and that now means that 5 of the starting 6 Limerick forwards have all scored. Mike Casey to Cian Lynch. The free has gone against Lynch and against Limerick. Well, let's take another look. And he did catch Paddy Levy, and he was flying through the air as well. Waterford have the free, but every call contested, every ball contested in that war zone, Tommy, that is the middle third.
Yeah, and that's where all the bodies are. And just see the last couple of balls are into the Billy Nolan and the Waterford defence. They're driving it forward to the full forward line, but if they're doing that, they need numbers up there, Mike.
Billy Nolan. Waterford badly need a Nolan special. Not to be. Well, they're marquee players, they're household names, just right now struggling to make an impact, make an impression. Instead, it's Limerick who are doing most of the hurling. Cathal O'Neill, chance for him to make an impact off the bench, but the angle just got too tight and the pressure too high. Credit there to the Waterford men, Prendergast and Fitzgerald, who hunted in a pair and tracked his run. Jamie Barron runs into a pocket of space, evades Casey, holds off English. Pádraig Fitzgerald, though, ran into a bit of traffic. Now Colm Lyons is giving the free here to Fitzgerald and to Waterford. Garrod Hegarty came from behind there and did catch him on the side of the head.
Yeah, listen, in slow motion that can look differently, but like he was going to tackle him, and as he fell, he was already on the way in, and free was a good decision there.
Stephen Bennett hits back for Waterford. He's hit 7 points tonight, but Waterford could badly do with one of his goals now, just to really throw the fat in the fire. Hit 2 here last Sunday as Mark Fitzgerald again comes thundering forward. Fitzgerald drills it in and just short. Nicky Quaid looking to play the perfect pass, and Cathal O'Neill just caught on his heels. Another collision. Colm Lyons says get up and get on with it. Tom Morrissey to David Reedy, tiptoeing his way along that end line, inside to Cian Lynch, and Lynch wheels away, punches the air and celebrates the score with the Schlitter still on its way between the posts. That's how confident he was. He knew from the minute he hit it, it was on its way.
He's not 2 times hurler here for nothing, Mike.
The magician that is Cian Lynch restores Limerick's 7-point advantage, but not for long. Jamie Barron hits back. What a servant he's been to Waterford. He's played in 2 All-Ireland finals. He's been outstanding all season. And he will carry on and battle on to the bitter end. Just over 11 minutes of normal time to play here at Walsh Park, the home of Waterford hurling. A ground they want to turn into a fortress. But they've got some ground to make up now on Limerick, as Stephen Bennett there, outnumbered 4-1. Out comes Kyle Hayes. Gives it to Tom Morrissey. Again, very little pressure on the shooter. But Tom Morrissey unable to take advantage.
See, Limerick are playing with +1, +2 at the back at times. You'll have to go short when Limerick are playing like that. Anytime Waterford do that, they can cause them difficulties. But there's Tom Morrissey going off. He had a great, probably first, whatever it was, 40, 59 minutes. He was brilliant all day, and usually he does come off around this time for fresh legs to make an impact for Limerick.
What a shift he's put in. He makes way after an hour, and on comes Aidan O'Connor. Fresh legs and a different sort of problem for Waterford to deal with, as the ball is played into the corner towards Desi Hutchinson, looking to get the run on Dan Morrissey. Inside to Stephen Bennett. Well, he did get the shot away, and he did force Nicky Quaid to make the save. And that's the thing with Stephen Bennett. Expect the unexpected. Here we see it again. He just pulled on it, and Quaid equal to it.
Great vision from Desi in the corner. Great follow through by Bennett. And then a great save by Nicky. He had everything. No signs of, they were worried about Nicky coming back last week after a cruise ship, but not one sign of hesitation from the last day or today, Mike.
It's a remarkable story. The Limerick goalkeeper back in action after only 5 months out, as Stephen Bennett delivers the 65 over Nicky Quaid's crossbar. He'll feel he could and possibly should have had a goal. Waterford have to be content with the point. No easy games in this round-robin group, of course. Waterford away to Tip next day out. Limerick at home to Cork. And, of course, the blockbuster in Ennis next weekend as Clare take on Tipperary. Everyone right now battling it out for the 3 places and the 3 tickets that will take them through to the All-Ireland Series. Paddy Levy cuts this in. Lovely ball. Spotted the run of Irla Daly. He's got support. He's going to go alone. Now he gives it to Kiley. Kiley turns into the traffic, turns into the 4 Limerick men, and Cian Lynch with another sublime piece of skill. And Limerick are away and Limerick are out. Now, whistle sounds here. Colm Lyons, I think, got in the way of the players as they were trying to contest possession. Just take another look here at the piece of skill from Cian Lynch. What about that, Tommy?
Same as Gerard Hegarty a few moments ago. It's their work rate, their intensity, their willingness to defend as forwards is what makes them stand out. But you have to hand it to Waterford. I thought this game was, starting to tip into probably a straightforward victory for Limerick. But they're still in there, Waterford. They're still hanging in there with chances. The chances are even starting to stack up further than goal chances. And they're only 5 points behind. Here's an indirect free. 5 minutes in it. 8 minutes to go of normal time, probably plus another 4. So plenty of time for more drama. Plenty of time for more scores. Hegarty and Paddy Levy in front of us here as well, Mike. They're having some battle today.
Well, were Waterford to score a goal here, all bets are off. They're hanging on to Limerick's coattails right now, but no sign of the 6-day turnaround hurting them just yet. It's Jack Prendergast. Well, that would really have helped. Jack Prendergast driving forward, looking for what would have been his second of the day, as Cian Lynch offers himself up for the puck out. Man on the ball here is Aidan O'Connor, who turns and strikes and scores. Well, that's one way to make an impression. Great take, lovely feet, and a fine finish from the Limerick substitute. Well, they've been asked a few hard questions, and they've come up with all the answers as Coughlin goes looking for another one. 6 minutes to go now, and you get the feeling that without a goal, Tommy, Waterford's numbers up here. That's Stephen Bennett, who goes highest, beats Mike Casey in the air, and Stephen Bennett, he really is Waterford's man for all seasons, still going strong 11 years after he made his debut. Can't really train these days, but he's a natural, and that score is the cue for Peter Queally to spring another substitute. He's bringing in Austin Gleeson, hurler of the year and young hurler of the year back in 2016. Only played 2 minutes the last day against Clare. He'll play at least 5.5 this evening.
The full bomb squad are on now, so they are, Mike.
Cathal O'Neill racing through, looks over his shoulder to avoid the hook, and O'Neill shows his quality and class. What a man to have to bring in off the bench. Great speed to hold off the defender, and Cathal O'Neill gets his name on the score sheet. Well, can Ozzie Gleeson have an impact on this game? Shane O'Brien, great fetch, running away from goal, cuts in to make the angle. He really does look like the complete package. That was Conor Prunty, who was at full stretch to try and get there, and he just couldn't. As Dara O'Donovan, a man who has been at midfield for Limerick on all their big days, on all their great days, comes in now to try and help them to close this out and get the job done. They're 7 up again. Garrod Hegarty holding off the Waterford man. That's Austin Gleeson. Limerick hold possession. Now Barry Nash. One man up top. It's O'Brien again. It's over his head, and Nolan gets it away. Is Waterford's way to record back-to-back wins in this Munster Championship about to go on? Limerick looks set for what would be just their 3rd win this season, and more importantly, their 1st win in this Munster Championship round robin. Cian Lynch, what a game he's had. Forced off it though, and Stephen Bennett has it back again. Bounces it through to Gleeson, and Gleeson over his shoulder hits it right into the arms of Nicky Quaid. Nobody at home in the Waterford full forward line. Here's Hegarty, gets as wide as he could there, and he's just racked up Limerick's 10th wide. They're in double figures in the 68th minute.
And I think it's time to throw the kitchen sink at it now, so trying to run a short pass out around midfield or put the bodies inside and then lump it into him, and hopefully one of the Bennetts or Ozzie or Mikey Kiley comes off the break.
Ball back in play. Stephen Bennett into this space in front of the arc, into the hand of Shane Bennett, and Shane Bennett knocks over Waterford's 21st point. The Bennett brothers from Ballysagar combine to leave us with a 6-point game, less than 2 minutes to play. Limerick, who have been masters of all they survey in Munster for the last 6 seasons, the history makers and the record breakers, and right now they have Waterford just where they want them with 90 seconds to play. Feig de Burka puts this up along the sideline. Cian Lynch, as always, reads Waterford's intentions. He's just having that sort of a game. Ball drawn to him like a magnet as Nash knocks this in over the top for David Reedy. Man trying to stay with him is Ian Kenny. Ball recycled to Gillane, who somehow manages to squeeze the shot off. And Gillane delivers another one for the highlights reel. Well, he was leaning backwards, he was off balance, and Gillane has just hit his 9th point of the game.
He's still the leader of that attack, he's still the daddy of the Limerick forwards. The Bull is the pretender to the throne at this stage, but Gillane is just every season, all season.
Well, they are quite the dynamic duo in there in that full forward line, O'Brien and Gillane. Tommy, we might just have a chance here for you to tell us who's your Ayr man of the match.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Looking at the Waterford team, I thought Jamie Barron was absolutely outstanding. I thought Stephen Bennett was a colossus again, really tried to take the game to him, but for Limerick, there's been two guys really. Adam English I thought was superb, but it has to be the wizard himself. He's nearly superhuman, as I said earlier on at this stage. 2-time hurler of the year, Cian Lynch. When the game was there to be won, Lynch was winning the ball back into the defence. When there was up at the attack, he was up there spraying around passes. First half, second half, Cian Lynch.
Well, the man who's won it all and done it all, Cian Lynch, is Tommy's Ayr man of the match. 3 points from play. He has directed operations, he has pulled the strings. We're into the first minute of added time. Limerick continued to run the bench. Shane O'Brien, the latest player to be called ashore. Donica O'Dowlig from Monaleen is on. Billy Nolan down towards a very crowded goalmouth, taken out of the sky superbly by Dan Morrissey. Won his 4th All-Star last year, still going strong. Same could be said for this man, Hayes, who just glides across the ground.
And he was a colossus too, centre-back Kyle Hayes. He was like an Aaron Curtin back there, the whole half-back line. I thought when Burns went off, you know, Colin Coughlin came in seamlessly, scored a point even for good measure. On the other side, sure, Barry Nash was, you know, giving another epic performance as well, especially in that first 20 minutes.
Well, as we know, 30 points is often the magic number for Limerick. They've hit 30 points 3 times against Waterford in recent years. Doesn't look like they'll get there tonight, but that is a really good score from Gavin Fives down at the other end. Barry Nash has just been booked for a challenge earlier on in that move as Gavin Fives went forward. We're into the final minute of added time. Tuck out lands right down on top of Cathal O'Neill. Touchdown to Hegarty. Back to Barry Nash. There's one of those very neat and tidy triangles. It's Aidan O'Connor with the final shot. Very little wrong with the build-up. No score at the end of it as Paddy Levy tries to get forward one more time. All-Ireland club winner with Ballygunner. The team that have won 11 in a row here in Waterford. Jack Prendergast now looking for Stephen Bennett. Ball flies through the air, gathered by Nicky Quaid. Was that Waterford's last stand? The 3 minutes of added time have been played. Kyle Hayes lets the ball do the work. Down towards Reedy. Mark Fitzgerald still trying to carry the fight to Limerick. Hegarty. A lot of tired bodies. A lot of tired minds as the final whistle sounds. Well, John Kiley's green